Hey YouTubers, and welcome back to another Dragon Ball Super speculation and or theory video, whatever you want to call it. And today I'm joined by a very special guest. Please introduce yourself.
Speculation and theory video. Never heard of those before. I am the great priest of the Dragon Ball. No, I'm kidding. It's Daddy. No, I'm not. People hate it. See, I can't even make a joke without somebody taking it personal. It's Big D from Geekdom 101. And no, folks, that's not about my penis. It's because if you're one of my exes, you know that I do not have a big D. But let's talk about Dragon Ball. People will take this and like spin it. Oh, dude, it's just a joke, man. Relax. Let's talk about Dragon Ball. We're having a good time today.
I like the daddy stuff. I like the calling the daddy introduction.
You like calling me daddy?
I do like calling you daddy.
All right. Well, by the way, just for the record, I got that from a Family Guy episode when Peter Griffin's like, "Daddy has to poopy," and I said that to my roommate once. I was like, "Hey, I'll be right back. Daddy has to poopy," and it just stuck. Like we just laughed and it stuck. That's the story behind Daddy.
Anyway, so guys, we're talking today about Goku. It was just talking about Black and Zamasu and whether or not when they fuse, how will that basically negatively affect them, or will it negatively affect them in the fight to come, and how such. And before I'm going to let Geekdom talk, but I just wanted to say, we've been watching this series, this arc play out for a really long time, and with the last couple episodes, we've been seeing like Goku, or I keep trying to call him Goku Black, Black and Zamasu are basically simpatico in everything, in every way. They basically agree with each other. They understand each other in a very, very, very real way. But at the same time, they seem to have, the only disconnect is with their bodies. And I don't know where that disconnect happened, whether it was when Black actually got Goku's body, and the fact that the future Zamasu didn't get Goku's body and actually wish for immortality. So now you have Black sitting around going like, oh, this Saiyan body is basically like a body of the gods. It's amazing. It gets stronger every time it fights, and it just feels great. And you have Zamasu basically sitting there going, you should wish for immortality. Immortality is great. I feel like a god. So we have these different mentalities when it comes to their particular bodies. But as we know, when you fuse with Potara, it actually puts them together, and they can't get away. They can't get out. And the problem with that is that they can't even wish themselves apart once they make that decision to fuse, because obviously they've destroyed the Super Dragon Balls, and even though that doesn't necessarily make sense because they could always just go to another timeline, it's worth thinking about. So what do you think, man? Do you think like this will negatively impact them going forward?
So the question is more so like what you're asking is, do you think that the possibility, I guess, of them fusing could end up biting them in the ass? Is that kind of the thing?
Yeah, basically, because they have a single straightforward plan, but at the same time, the only thing that they've disagreed on is their bodies and the way they use their bodies. But when they fuse, we don't know exactly how it's going to negatively affect the immortality or the Saiyan boost or anything.
Yeah, and that's a very good point that I was going to make, because I was thinking about this yesterday. And again, we're just speculating and just kind of spitballing here, but I could totally see the loophole around the immortality of future Zamasu being that if he fuses with the Potara, that you're creating a new being and that the immortality is nullified. Now, that's going to lead to a lot of debates in our community, because the Super Dragon Ball is said to be all-powerful. But I often wonder, too, if maybe them destroying the Super Dragon Balls may have caused an issue, a ripple effect that's not going to kick in till the future. So, again, it's kind of a thing, but that could be the case as well. Also, I was also contemplating the spoiler that we have about Goku learning the Mafuba, the evil containment wave, the possibility of him trying that on Zamasu, having it fail, and possibly if there's fusion, if Goku and Vegeta do indeed fuse, if this actually does happen, perhaps a Vegito or a Gogeta, whatever form you want to use, depending on the fusion type, does the Mafuba, it would be stronger because it would be from a fused character. And I think fusion is very underrated in the series. My whole thing is, initially when Zamasu and Black fuse, it's going to be quite the problem, because those guys are already tough as nails now. They are very difficult to beat. So I feel like the fusion part is going to make them damn near impossible to beat. I don't even... Thinking about how this is going to end is, tough.
Well, that's where I'm kind of coming in with this too. Like, we don't necessarily know. There's not any indication of which one decides to fuse with the other, and maybe the Mafuba is going to be kind of the thing that kind of break the one that breaks the camel's back in some way or another, because maybe Goku's putting Zamasu in the Mafuba because he's the one who's immortal. They can take care of Black, but they can't take care of an immortal. There's no way you're going to kill him. But so Goku's strong. He's putting him in there, and the only way that Zamasu could think to break it is to actually put the Potara earring on the other ear and fuse with Black before he goes in, and then being able to break it as he goes out. Maybe that's how we're going to see it happen, and that pulls up a whole lot of issues, because if Goku can't hold them with the Mafuba and they fuse, how would Black, having been forced to fuse, actually kind of impact that mentality of that new being? Because obviously they're one single mind, but they're not necessarily. So how would being immortal or a god affect the Saiyan boost or something, and they just kind of infight each other and basically kill each other themselves? So it's a little bit of Zamasu's going to
they do have the same mentality, though, but they have the same mentality. So I feel like the same mentality would help them coexist better. I mean,
sure.
Vegeta and Goku do not have the same mentality, and they were doing great against Buu and against Janemba, if you want to count that. I mean, it's up to you. It's a movie, but, it's whatever. But we know from the manga and the anime they were doing well, so I think it would actually be... I don't see a negative repercussion coming from the fusion, with the exception of the fact that the immortality might be gone. That's the only thing I can think of that would be a negative. I really can't think of anything else that would be a negative other than that, if they do that.
The only thing I would have to say is the one thing they've kind of made very clear about Saiyans throughout this entire show thus far is the one thread between Goku and Vegeta that has been consistent throughout this entire show with every single arc is the fact that they don't want to work together with fusing anymore, and they want to fight. Saiyans fight for themselves. They don't take power boosts or anything from anyone else. They fight their own battles. And the thing is, now that Black has taken Goku's body and he's feeling the thrill, and he's experiencing the body and the mentality of a Saiyan, I'm wondering if that particular trope of what Saiyans are is going to end up kind of messing with his own mentality somewhat, and actually end up hurting the combination between Zamasu and Black going forward. That's kind of where this comes from.
I don't know if we'll see that. I'm having a hard time. Again, if they weren't the same person, I would kind of see that. But because they're so similar, I mean, we're talking... It would be kind of funny, though. I'm not going to lie. Your idea is kind of funny. I just don't know if we're going to see that. Mm-hmm. I just think because they're too similar in the way they think and their goals, I just feel like that's... I don't know, honestly. I'm just saying that I don't know. I don't think we're going to see it. I do not think we're going to see that. I think the only negative repercussion is going to be the fact that they might lose the immortality. But who knows at this point, bro. The beautiful thing about this arc is that they have orchestrated it in a way that's very hard to predict. 3 weeks ago, we all knew the arc was going to end. We were wrong. 3 weeks ago, we all knew that there was 15 Zamasus. We were wrong. 3 weeks ago, we all knew Trunks would get this and that. And there's so many... Mm-hmm. Jeez, dude, there's so many twists here. It really is Toriyama's, I don't want to say it's his best work, but it's his best work in many, many years since Battle of Gods, in my opinion. I think it is. Not perfect, and it's probably not up to par with the writing quality of classic Dragon Ball, Piccolo arc stuff, and Vegeta Saga. That's still, I think, his magnum opus, but this could end up being it if they end the arc off with a bang. I mean, really, when we look back at this in a few years, we're going to really see if Toriyama knocked it out of the park. And so far, he has, Being in the middle of it, I think he has.
No, I completely agree. And I agree with you. All this is basically speculation. Almost everything I do is basically speculation and kind of fan theory-ish anyway. But I try to find, various little threads that have been lingering throughout the show and figure out a way that they can actually pay off certain things in a very unique and interesting way. And we've never necessarily seen, at least, ever since Frieza, really, we haven't seen a villain just completely destroy his own self based off his own selfishness and greed and ego. And I think that would be kind of interesting, reminiscent of the fight on Namek. But at the same time, I agree with you. I feel like Goku and Vegeta fusing for whatever degree and however they decide to do it would be interesting to see. And the nullification of the immortality is actually something that makes a whole lot of sense. It would be an easy way for them to actually kind of write that off without having to do anything particularly too, intense or try to explain anything away too, frivolously or whatever. So I feel like that's one of the really cool concepts of them fusing is, they're going to be vulnerable now. I think that's a really good theory at this point is when they fuse, they're going to be able to kill them. It's just going to be hard. And we're going to see something that's really intense going forward.
Yeah, it's the intensity that we've been lacking in the series, and this arc from day one, from episode 47, where this whole thing started, has been nothing but intensity. It's almost like they listened to the criticisms. I don't think they did, but maybe they did. Who knows? They listened to the criticisms of why should we care? Their movie remakes and this tournament's a joke, and Monaka's a joke, and this and that. Cool characters, but it's all a joke. And now it's like, okay, let's kick your ass, and that's what they've done.
Mm-hmm. No, I completely agree. Honestly, if I was a naysayer, I was a doubter of Dragon Ball Super up until episode 47, and honestly, in the last how many episodes? Like it's been 15 at this point, 15. Like it's really just turned the ship around. If it continues this quality, if it continues this trajectory for the rest of the series, it has completely and utterly changed its tone dynamic, and we're going to see, and everyone's excited. This show's probably not ending anytime soon, so it's just even that more exciting.
Yeah, well, I would certainly hope not. I think it's definitely it's based on money and things like that. It's not going to end anytime soon. But can the quality stay up? That's the question.
It can. I think it can, based off of certain things that they brought up and some really interesting concepts. I actually did a video. I'll plug my own videos in my own video.
Come on, bro.
I did a.
You're like a guy who videotapes himself masturbating and then masturbates to it. Come on.
I did a video with MJ that will be probably posting around the same time as this, and we kind of broke down like the 5 areas that they can go next after this arc that would be just as intense, if not more so, if they do it right going forward. And we just took like little bits and pieces, one line here and there, in order to kind of, tie together like every single arc that they could basically take after this arc. And I gotta admit, like I have never been more hyped making a video, get more progressively hyped about what could possibly come in the future of Dragon Ball Super.
Working with MJ got you hyped? The hell?
I know.
What planet am I? This can't be life.
Anyway, guys, definitely make sure to go check out Geekdom and his channel. I'm sure you already have. I bet,
hope so.
I bet everyone who's subbed to me is subbed to you. But if you're somehow not and you don't know who
because people hate me, bro. People hate me.
Oh,
they
please.
hate me.
No.
They hate the swag. They hate it.
They can't deal with it. Anyway,
they can't handle it, bro.
please go sub to him. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe on my channel. Please tell us your theories, what you think of this. How do you think that Black and Zamasu fusing will actually affect the arc? Will it nullify the immortality? Will it kind of, will they have odds with each other? Will they be simpatico still? What will they have to do to defeat that monster that they're going to create in the next couple episodes and everything? So make sure to tell us your thoughts in the comment section below. But anyway, thank you so much, Geekdom, for joining me.
Of course, man. Anytime.
All right.
Unless I'm asleep or having sex or drunk, I'll do a video with you whenever.
Or just generally don't want to talk to me. So.
Or maybe all 3 at once. Maybe that'll be the best video we ever do. Who knows?
Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. We'll catch you all in the next video.
Bye.